Welcome everybody to another Dominaria United draft, and we have a pretty easy pack 1 pick 1 in the Defiler of Vigor. A 5 mana 6/6 trample that also gives you extra value is quite strong, and although it is pretty expensive, I think it pays for itself pretty well. Looking to get back the Vishnu Branch Rider, or the Dragon Whelp, or possibly one of the red lands, or green lands. I'm not really interested in the Land of Warstalker, so not really hoping to get that one back. Easy pack 1 pick 1. Now if you've seen a lot of my videos, you know at this point that I think that green-red is the best deck, specifically green-red aggro. And would you look at that, we get another on-color rare for the green-red aggro deck. The Knight is very good, and green-black is not bad, but I think green-red is the best, and this is a good rare, so we'll take it. Hoping to get back the Flowstone Kavu. A good number of white and black cards inside this pack, and a Garna, but I'm not worried about the Garna. Yavimaya Iconoclast is kind of right up the alley of what we're looking to do, and we'll be cementing ourselves as having 2 great 2s and a great 5. Hoping to get back the Bog Badger, or maybe the Enthrall to the Pit. Letting these white cards go, but we keep on getting playable, so... Alright, now we actually have to make a choice. We have a Vineshaper Prodigy, which is a 2. It is a 2 we can play. Or a Radiant Grove for a potential white splash. Now there are actually cards that we would be willing to splash off of the white. Now there's a Maria's Outrider and a Bite Down. Right here I'm just going to take the Bite Down. 3 2s and a 5. Pretty okay start. It may seem like I'm forcing this a little bit because we're passing up on a lot of solid white things. But depending on who's at the table with us, they might understand the signals we're sending that we're obviously not passing green and red. Although the Outrider is definitely a card that isn't bad. Okay, well now we see a bunch of blue stuff in a Keldon Strike Team. We'll just take a Keldon Strike Team. That is also something that we can kick with the Radiant Grove, so pretty happy to see it. Also, this is just a pretty disappointing 3. Looking pretty solid. Doesn't have an Enlist, but it does have a nice activated ability. Now there's a Flowstone Infusion. Very good. That means we're... oh wow. This also is just a busted ass pack. There's just so many good cards here. Toxic A-Bomb's fine, Samite Herbalist is fine, Combat Research is good, Join Forces is good, Magnagoth Sentry is playable, Barkweave Crusher is serviceable, Mana Worker is good. But yeah, we'll just take the removal spell. Ooh, now we have an interesting choice to make. We have a Goblin Picker or a Twinferno. Twinferno is good. It is a serviceable combat trick, but I think I'm supposed to take the Picker. That's just another good 2. Now we get back the Sacred Peaks, which is another nod towards the white splash for the Keldon Strike Team. Otherwise there's Tangled Islet, but I'm just going to take the Sacred Peaks. Very nice. Now the Keldon Strike Team is playable and we haven't sacrificed our mana at all. Flowstone Kavu comes back, that's great for us. All in all, we're definitely in the right lane. Enthrall to the Pit, Gaia's Might or Jaya's Firenado. I'm probably just going to take Enthrall to the Pit. I think if we're aggressive enough, this card is a finisher, and I think Jaya's Firenado is just too clunky and slow. Well, Lunar Fire must understand that we're very streamlined right now, and we are passing them nothing green and red of good value. And we've gotten all good picks. Like, none of these are even remotely close. We will be playing all of these cards very easily and very happily. Alright, well here's the first big miss. We're just going to take a land. Well, we could take a Tide Turner. Tide Turner is a card we don't want to see. Send the blue-white signals to the person to our left, and possibly the person after. They can have all the blue and white cards, I'll take all the good green and red ones. I'm anxious to see how well I get paid off in this next pack. Heroic Charge we're not going to play, and we're not playing this one either, but I guess the one I'm afraid of the most is this one. And another Tide Turner. Well, that's pretty unfortunate, because that's a amazing card. Well, we can't play it. I mean, we do have the 2 fixing lands, but I don't really think that's worth. I think we're supposed to take a Wooded Ridgeline, or even a Root Wallow. Like, there's no way we're playing this, right? Right? Okay, so hear me out. We're not 0% to play it. We can get a Sprouting Goblin. We're passing up on the land, which is a big risk, but the Mythic Rare I think we just want to take for value if nothing else. Okay, so we have Flowstone Infusion, Colossal Growth, the Molten Monstrosity, and a Threats Undetected. I've been pretty impressed with Threats Undetected. It is a little bit on the slow side, but it also is just a divination. But I think it's supposed to be Flowstone Infusion or Colossal Growth, and seeing as we don't have a Colossal Growth yet, I think I'm supposed to pick that. Possibly get back the Flowstone Infusion, but it's doubtful. Yocha Declares War is awful. Enthrall to the Pit is fine, but we're just going to take a Wooded Ridgeline and be quite happy. It's possible that we wield the Magnagal Sentry, and we're not 0% to play it. So this pack is going a little bit worse than I expected, but it's only been a couple of picks in. And we're looking for ways to justify the SERRA Paragon. I mean, we're not going to be playing like Deathbloom Gardener or anything like that. Not really interested in that card to make this one more playable. But if we get another 2 or so fixing lands, I could see us playing it. Now there's a Viashino Branch Rider, Strength of the Coalition, which we actually do have the ability to kick now, another Keldon Strike Team, and a Coalition Warbrute. I think right now I'm on the Strength of the Coalition over the Branch Rider. Our creature count is a little bit short, so maybe the Viashino Branch Rider is just correct. Yeah, we'll take it. Like, the spells are good, and high-quality spells are always nice, but realistically, we just need a higher density of creatures. Another Wooded Ridgeline is good mana fixing, but at this point, I think I'm aiming towards either the Elfheim Worm or the Maria's Outrider. Yeah... The Maria's Outrider is a bit more impressive. It deals the damage up front. Yeah, we'll play it. Radiant Grove, Coalition Warbrute, or one of these medium green cards. We'll just take the Radiant Grove. Another way to potentially get that white card in here. Only one of these that is even remotely playable for us is probably just Twinferno. It can give something double strike, but we'll start it in the sideboard first. There's a Coalition Warbrute. Yeah, we'll play that. Wooded Ridgeline comes back to us. That's a gift. Molten Monstrosity or Floriferous Vine Wall. I think I'm supposed to take the Monstrosity here. We're not playing any of these, but the one that we want to see the least is probably Haunting Figment. That said, I think we'll just take this for the uncommon, vault value. I don't even think I have 4 of these. Keldon Strike Team number 2, or Coalition Warbrute number 2. We'll just take the 3. And we already have 3 fixing lands for it, so we're a little bit higher curve than I would like, but we're not in a bad spot. We could use some more creatures. We could in general use some more playables, but we're not in an awful spot. We just need the third pack to kind of pick things up for us. Sadly, we did not get back the second Flowstone Infusion. Llanowar Stalker we're not going to play. Leaf Crowned Visionary. How many elves do we have? We'll reserve this first. What else are we picking? It's either Flowstone Infusion or Flowstone Kavu. Okay. So we have Viashino, Goblin, Human, Elf number 1, Human, Minotaur, Elf Archer. We don't really have that many elves. We have 2. I don't think that's worth a very, very difficult to cast 1/1. We'll just take the Flowstone Infusion, look to get back the Kavu, or the Colossal Growth. Electrostatic Infantry is not bad, and we are kind of... Well, we're not actually that high. We have Flowstone Infusion times 2, Bite Down Colossal Growth, and Enthrall to the Pit. Those are all good. What do we have for 2s? We don't really have that many 2s. We'll take it. So it doesn't look like we're going to get there on ways to cast the SERRA Paragon. But that's okay. There's a Valiant Veteran, which is a fine card, but not really for us, and a Hurler Cyclops. But I think we're already kind of capped out on big expensive spells we want to play. The Deathbloom Gardener is another way to get our SERRA Paragon out, but I don't really think I want to play a 3-mana 1/1 in this format. I think the Hurler Cyclops is much more playable. Another Keldon Strike Team, a Vineshaper Prodigy, or one of these big things. I think we're supposed to take the Keldon Strike Team. Just another 3. Lightning Strike or Coalition Warbrute or a Magnagoth Sentry. We'll just take a Lightning Strike. Pretty unfortunate, we haven't seen any of the Yavimaya Steel Crusher, which is kind of the most important 2-drop in this deck. A 3rd Wooded Ridgeline or Flowstone Kavu. We're just going to take the Kavu. Although at this point, we might be good on 3s. We might just need the mana fixing if our intention is to play the SERRA Paragon. Yeah, we'll take it. Another Keldon Strike Team and a Lightning Strike. We'll just take a Lightning Strike. Thrill of Possibility is actually a playable here, but I don't know if it's going to make the cut. Ooh, we're actually lower on creatures than I thought we were. Flowstone Kavu coming back as a gift. So we have 4 fixing lands. Vishina Branch Rider comes back, that's great for us. Well, we're not playing any of these cards. The one we want to see the least is Flatter Goblin. Well, I don't think we're playing either of these, but the one that has the most likelihood of seeing play is probably the Coalition Warbrute. Then again, we might just need the creatures. At this point, I think we can play the SERRA Paragon, and I think we need to make room for the Thrill of Possibility as a way to discard it if it's not doing anything. We're not playing either of these. We'll let somebody else have a Vanquisher's Axe that we don't want, and a Shadow Prophecy. Okay, so didn't really go as good as I would have hoped. We're actually really low on 2s. At 2 we have Goblin Picker, Electrostatic Infantry, Firebrand, Yavimaya Iconoclast. Very, very bad. Unfortunate. However, let's look at our mana. This is 17 lands, I assume. It's 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, yes, 17. With 7, 8, 9, 10 green sources. 2, 3, 4, 5. No. 7, 8, 9, 10 red sources. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 green sources. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 white sources. To be honest, that's not the worst. We're definitely more heavy in red than we are in any other color, which is kind of bad for the Defiler, but I think that's okay. In fact, in this deck right now, we only have one way to trigger the Defiler. So really it's just like a 6/6 trample for 5 that has one card in the deck that will give a value. I think that's okay though. Okay. Yeah, I think this is actually fine. We just have to cut some cards. I don't think we're cutting any of their removal spells. I think we can cut one of the Keldon Strike teams. One of the Coalition Warbrutes. How many creatures are we at? 16? Oh, actually, we need to cut non-creatures. So I think we're going to keep the Keldon Strike team. Cut the Thrill of Possibility. Enthrall to the Pit might not be worth now. We're not aggro enough. Yeah, we'll try it like this. See if we can make it work. Definitely worse than a lot of the green-red decks we've tried previously. But I think maybe the SERRA Paragon is strong enough on its own merits to earn us a victory in at least one of these. Okay, yeah, we are frozen for a moment. I think we have to restart Arena after this game. Game's starting to have some issues. Oops. Well, this hand is not going to do it. We don't have anything that we can play before turn 4, and we can't even play it. So we'll mull. This hand is much better, although I don't know what the hell we're supposed to put on the bottom. I guess it's Bite Down? Well, the Branch Rider's not bad. I think we will play it out and try to get our opponent. Snare Spinner, not really good for me. I think we're supposed to play out the Radiant Grove. Although the Snare Spinner is going to deliver to us no matter what, so we'll just get it out the way now. Okay, they had no follow-up, that's good. I think we're supposed to just play out the Flowstone Kabu, but we'll attack first and see what happens. Alright, looking good. Let's see what they've got to follow up. A good 4, I assume. Yeah, Barkweed Crusher is definitely a strong one. Yavimaya Iconoclast is not bad, but I don't think it's doing too much for us. We are going to kick it. Are we? Oh, I think we just play it out and hit them for more damage. They've had some pretty good defensive creatures, but they only have 4 cards in hand, so maybe they're not all incredibly good. Deathbloom Gardener's not very good. Unfortunately, all we draw is this, so we don't really have the best attacks in the world. I think we're supposed to just play a Coalition War Brute and pass turn. They do have a card, which is bad for me. It might just be a bite down featuring the Deathbloom Gardener on my Coalition War Brute. Nothing I can do about that though. We'll play out the land. Leyline Binding, get rid of the Coalition War Brute. Well, I run into this card far more often than I would hope for. Okay, Shadow Prophecy is not good for me. They look at a lot of cards here. 4. White, blue, black, and green. They're missing the red mana, but they have a Deathbloom Gardener to at least cast red spells. Look at your best, your top 4, get your best 2 is not good for me at all. But they are at a low life total. There's still ways we can climb back. SERRA Paragon being one of the primary ways. Another Flowstone Kabu is not the worst. So we are just going to play it out and pass. No attacks. Had a feeling. Okay, well, nothing I can do about that, so I won't. Would have been nice to have an instant speed removal spell for the Deathbloom Gardener, but alas, I have only drawn Lightning Strike as interaction. Even though we have a lot of interaction in this deck. Well, things are getting worse for me as time goes on. They're getting a lot more value than I was hoping for. They're 8 cards deeper through their deck than I am. And they have the full domain turned on. So my win percentage is going down with every passing turn. Okay, back to my turn, and we draw a useless land. We can cast all of our spells. Mountain is just a dead draw. What do they have in their graveyard that's worth getting back? Just a Bog Badger and an Elvish Hydromancer, which they can cast. So I think we're just supposed to pass the turn here. Play out the land, make them think we don't have anything worthwhile in our hand. If they have a Mind Rot effect, they're more incentivized to use it. Oh, well, you know, I think this game is just over now. Like, pretty hard for us to beat a 7/7 trample at all. Now they're at 17 life with another card in hand. I have an uncastable, and they're enlisting this to make this a 5/5. Well, we are going to go to blocks. Activate the ability. Activate the ability again. It does not have trample, so we're just trading our 1 for their 4. Oh cool, they have a removal spell. Very cool. Last card in hand is a 1-mana trick. That's nice for me. Alright, well... only pathway to victory I see is trying to get in here. Bring them down to 13. The likelihood of us ending the game here is pretty low, but it is possible. Looks like they didn't draw a land. Yeah, they're just going to attack with their 7/7. Makes sense. No risky attacks now that we actually have cards that matter. We can play out a Hurler Cyclops, but we can't really do much with it. Now we have to find a way to untap and live, and then it's possible we can piece together some string of things that gets the job done. Now what I want to see from my opponent is an attack all into play some kind of thing. Really? Well, we can't really afford to take any damage from that, so we, or rather block and trade, so we won't. Looks like they have something in their hand, God knows what it is. Radiant Grove is not bad, it means we can play out the SERRA Paragon next turn. But the problem is, we just can't do anything else. Okay, so they don't have anything in their hand, but that doesn't mean we're in the clear. Next turn we have the SERRA Paragon. This turn we have all of our Hurler Cyclops up, and a Lightning Strike as well. Okay. Now they're going to attack with that. And that, okay. This is the kind of attack that I can beat. So I think we do need to block here. Alright, so what do we block with? I think the Yavimaya Iconoclast. And then we're going to sack and kill the Deathbloom Gardener after combat. Or during combat, so we get our block in. Sure, they're gonna make some mana. Okay, we're at 5. They get a War Leech, which is fine. Alright, what do we do here? Do we use the Lightning Strike? I think we do Lightning Strike them. There's a Rada's Firebrand. We're gonna play this out. We're gonna kick this Iconoclast. Attack with this. Attack with this. And I think we have to leave the SERRA Paragon back. But they do need to block here. Okay, they're at 6. This is a winnable position. We just have to not die. So we do have to block both. I guess the attack with both was premature. I should have attacked with just one. Now we're taking 3. They don't have a combat trick. They have to have a follow-up though. Of course they do, and it's 5 3/3s, game over. Alright, fair enough, I guess. Pretty good card to have in hand, I suppose. Yeah, we really tried to play to our outs. Maybe a little bit towards the end we were a little bit hasty, but I don't think it would have mattered with the herd migration. Just no way to really live through that. Alright, see y'all in the next game. Alright. Already in the next game, and we have a hand that is... It's not awful. We'll keep it. I don't think we can really afford to mull. We'll start with the Wooded Ridgeline. Looks like my opponent might be on the mull themselves. the rare occasion when one of my opponents actually does have a hand that isn't absolutely bananas. I don't think we're going to play out the Branch Rider this turn. Seems like they might just have a way to stonewall it here. Yep. Looks like we are facing off against Domain, so we'll just play out a Kavu and hope to draw a 4th land. Really, really need to draw a 4th land. For multiple reasons. The Weatherseed Treaty, okay, well, they're definitely accelerating and hitting all their land drops for sure. So we do need to hurry, we don't have infinite time. Well, that's pretty awful for me. Not hitting the land is awful. But we don't really have a way to fix that, so we're just going to attack. Play out the Firebrand. Pass turn and see how much more value my opponent can gain. We're missing another red source, which would be nice. Looks like removal spell. No, a Sojourner, which is even worse. Yeah, so we don't really have a good way to get through the Sojourner. We can Lightning Strike it, but if they have specifically, looks like they don't. So I think we're going to attack both and just trade off our thing and a Lightning Strike for the Sojourner. Okay, they are going to block. And second main phase will do this. It does stick. They have 4 colors of mana, so that becomes a 5/5 until end of turn. Yep. They're officially winning the damage race on board right now. And they play out another big creature. Not the best for me. We can pump and use the Bite Down. And I think I like that more than playing out the Paragon. So we'll block first, and then we'll try to Bite Down. They might have a combat trick here. Colossal Growth there. Okay, yeah. It's kind of what we were hoping for. Hopefully this works out in my favor. It does. Thank goodness, that's a 2-for-1. We really needed that. Alright, we have 5 mana. I think we're supposed to cast a Defiler. We're going to attack first and see what happens. They'll just take the damage, fine by me. We'll play out the Defiler and pass turn. If they want to kill it, that's fine. The SERRA Paragon's the creature we're really hoping to stick. Danitha is not good for me, that's for sure. Pretty big, difficult to work through. Well, a Flowstone Infusion and Lightning Strike will both do the trick, but I don't really know if I'm looking to 2-for-1 myself to get rid of it. Maybe I am. Then again, they could just as easily have a Bortuk next turn to just blow me out. We don't have a way to get the immediate value off the Paragon. Just have the Rada's Firebrand in the graveyard and we can't even play it. So I think what we're supposed to do is attack with the Defiler. See what my opponent has to say about it. They do decide to take 6, and I think now we are supposed to, in fact, attempt the 2-for-1. Okay, we do succeed in doing that. Definitely not ideal, but that's okay. Territorial Morrow as a 10-10. Fair enough, I suppose. Jeez. There's a Flowstone Infusion, which doesn't quite get there. I think we're supposed to kick this. No attacks, and pass turn. Our opponent has a lot of great payoffs, and they've seemed to have drawn most of them. The Sojourner, the Danitha, the Territorial Morrow. Magnagoth Sentry is fine with me. Doesn't really mean too much on the current board state. Go to my turn. We do draw land, and that means that we have enough mana for the SERRA Paragon into Rada's Firebrand plan, and I think we do it, just because we get the immediate value. Now I don't think we can attack those, so I won't. If they immediately remove it, we still got a card out of it, so that's fine. Shalai's Acolyte as a 5/6 flyer. Wow, they're really popping off here, aren't they? Hurler Cyclops is not bad. It's a little bit slow and clunky, but we can slowly work our way through their defenses with it. Also Rada's Firebrand that we can make into a 5-power creature here. With what, 3 mana? Yeah. It's not the worst. So we have 6 mana, we can do that twice, and then still have the Flowstone Infusion up. However, we have to find a way to not die on the backswing, and that's where the real difficulty happens. I think any road to victory does necessarily involve playing out the Hurler Cyclops, so I will. I think they have to try something this turn and try to, like, get value off their stuff. Okay, so this is bad for me, whatever it is. I don't think we can afford to block the Shalai's Acolyte. I think we have to block other things. We'll block this here. Yeah, this is pretty rough. It seems like what they have is +4/+4 and trample, which means I'm gonna have some difficulty living. These are not the worst blocks ever. I think we block that there, and then this here. They can kill the Hurler Cyclops and the Rada. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like there are better blocks that we could be making here. I'm okay with the Viashina Branch Rider dying because we can replay it. I think we have to have the Rada's Firebrand live. So we'll see what they decide to do here. I don't know. Okay, what you got? Take up the shield. Lifelink and indestructible until end of turn. Yikes. Lifelink on a 10/10 is pretty fucking good, huh? Okay, well, we're gonna sacrifice the Rada's Firebrand to deal 1 to this. They go to 19 here, which is pretty awful for me. Their creature survives, I take a lot of damage, and I go down to 2 things on board. The good news is we did draw this, but the bad news is we're kind of dead on the backswing unless we keep this back to block. So if we do this... We're at 12, so we actually have to block here and somewhere else. Not great. Okay, so what life total are they at here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Down to 12. We'll do that, we'll do this, and we'll do this, and see what happens. Maybe this. This removal spell? Okay, yeah, they're just gonna block. Alright. We're trying to put ourselves in a position where we can win the game here. That's not very good for me. Sure. Attack all 3, yeah, as expected. So if we block here, and we block here, we're only specifically dead to +4/+4 trample, but that was going to be the case no matter what, so we're good. They're just going to let it slide just like that. They have 3 tapped creatures, we're going to gain some life. Another Keldon strike team. We're getting close. We're like really close to finding a way to get there. Okay, so this turn what we need to do is attack with the Flowstone Kavu, 1 Keldon strike team, and all 3 tokens. No, then we have to block with there, so we'll do this, peck in for some amount of damage, see what my opponent has to say. Okay, they're going to do that. There are 12 here. We can recast the SERRA PARAGON on my turn. Okay, so what we're going to do is block here, because if they have another trick, that's the best creature for us to block. We go to 4, and they have a Deathbloom Gardener. Okay, so I think we have to kill it. Is this enough? So we can play it and play this, but that's the same amount of power and toughness. We kick this, and what do we have? We have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Perfect. Wow, what a game. Whew. Those are the kinds of games that I play limited for. Incredibly difficult, involved a lot of thinking, being completely dead to combat tricks but not being able to play around them at all. And we earn the W as a result. Very, very nice. Even if I, completely bomb out from here, that game was well worth putting up on the YouTube channel. Okay, well this hand is a little bit bad. This hand is actually worse. This hand is actually playable. I'm gonna put the Keldon strike team on the bottom. Oh, we have to put 2 down there. Jesus. Okay. I guess let's see. Wooded Ridgeline. Pretty rough. Looks like the opponent has kept the full 7. Great, and we're already taking some aggression. I think we have to just play this though. I don't think we can afford to play our own branch rider and hope to block. Interesting. Yeah, this is not very good for me, that's for sure. So what I think we're supposed to play is the electrostatic infantry and see if we can set up a position where we can untap with it and play the flowstone infusion. But this could just be a situation where our creature dies. Yeah, we're not going to block. Okay. We don't draw anything good, but we have that, so... no attacks. We can hold up the flowstone infusion, but we're probably going to end up casting the colossal growth. Sure. Okay. This could go poorly for us, but I think the way that it doesn't is if we do this specifically. Okay, good. We'll take one more damage there at 4 cards. Now we can kick, we can't kick this yet. We can kick this, but I think we're supposed to play out the Flowstone Kavu or the Yavimaya Iconoclast. So we'll do the Iconoclast kicked. And I think now we're the beatdown. So we'll go ahead and punch in for all the marbles. Even up the life totals, and I'm not afraid of the branch rider anymore. A Balduvian Berserker is definitely not good for me, that's for sure. And they even have a 3-power creature to pump up the jams. Certainly not good. However, we are still the beatdown. So we're going to go to combat. Attack all. See what my opponent has to say. Okay, so if we kick the Colossal Growth, they'll be taking 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 here. Go to 2. They are at 2, and they're facing down a 3-4 trample. And I'll be honest, their attacks are not that good this turn. They're just okay. Seems like they might have to keep some stuff home to block. They also are flooding out a tiny bit. Is this Bone Splinters? Okay, that's fine with me. They have something, but I can't really afford to play around anything, so I won't. Okay. Okay, sure, I guess. Oh, another trick? Alright, well, I mean, sometimes your opponent just has double combat trick in hand. They play our own Goblin Picker and the Viashino Branch Rider, and they're still in a pretty tenuous situation. They can't really do a whole lot of attacking, but they can play a 5-5. Fair enough, I guess. Are we blocking, or are we hoping to find a way to attack? I don't think we can block, so we won't. A little unfortunate, the way things have ironed out here. I think we have to set up blocks with this, and then loot away the molten monstrosity and look for a way to get through the damage that way. And hope that this last card isn't something incredible. Alright. Attack and enlist there. We're going to go to blocks and block here. And I don't think we can afford to block the molten monstrosity. We will loot. Pitch this. Okay, well, I mean... someday they'll make a decision. Alright, we draw land. Not really what I'm looking for. Oh, okay. Sorry. Yeah, they obviously should have attacked with a branch rider, but realistically all I would have done is block with my 1/1. So whatever card they put on the top of their library evidently didn't interact well enough for me to have to, like, play around it. Which I couldn't anyway. I didn't really have any kind of counterplay to any kind of combat trick because of the 5/5 trampler. So we just played to our outs and we got there. Thinking hard about the ways that you can win and lose a game are easy ways to increase your win percentage. In that game with the territorial Morrow, for instance, as soon as I got the 11 life, I was pretty tempted to just concede. But I didn't, and it paid off. Yeah, I think we have to keep this hand. I don't think mulling is a good decision. We have some early game interaction and some ways to kind of pump up the jams with our Coalition Warbrute. So hopefully we get to interact. Looks like they're on the mall. To 6, okay. Trading 1 for 1 is fine with me. We'll just play this out and pass turn again. We do draw the land, so we'll just play out the Flowstone Kabu. Three lands here, okay. Phyrexian Rager's not very good for me, but at least we can hit through it. We do get a land, which is good. We can play out the Coalition Warbrute this turn. Looks like we're both hitting our land drops. Maybe their hand's just a bit... Nope, that's not very awkward, is it? Okay, well... what can we do here? Not a lot. I think I'm okay with that trade, and I think we just have to pass turn here. Maybe we should have pumped 2 extra mana into this to get the 2 damage in. If we lose by 2 life, we'll know that that was a misplay that cost us the game. That's not good for me. We will kill that. And still be in the positive on the damage race. Colossal Growth is fine. We'll just go to attacks and attack all. We want to keep up the kicked Colossal Growth as well as the Flowstone Infusion, just in case. There are green things they could have that would actually be pretty bad for me. Like whatever this is, like Tail Swipe for instance. We're going to start with Flowstone Infusion. Alright, we trade 1 for 1 our spell for the Tail Swipe. And they play a Splatter Goblin post-combat. Well, they can't block very well, so we're just going to kick this and see what happens. Looks like they do have a spell. It's +3/+0 in first strike. Nope, they just want to trade with it. Sure. That was a 1 that we traded for their 2. Well, they can't block this, so I feel pretty good about our situation. He's going to attack for all the marbles. Down to 8. So they might still have a Tail Swipe, so that's the reason that I didn't Elfhame Worm. It's not very good for me, but we're still in the lead. Can they attack here? No, they can't. Alright, so the combination of Colossal Growth and Lightning Strike means we might be able to get them pretty good here. Okay, so it's 8 toughness total. We have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Alright. Come on, Magic. Don't cuck me like that. While SERRA Paragon is on the borders of playability, we'll just play out the 5/4. We just need one more white source. Vine Wall is definitely not a card I'm afraid of. We have a pretty cheap monstrosity. If they don't kill this turn, oh yeah. Well, that's certainly interesting, isn't it? We're going to play out the monstrosity. Go to combat, beat in. Okay, so they will block. And I think we hold off on both of these. I think the burst damage on the haste is worth it. And the lightning strike is... oh dear, well that's not very good for me. A bit on the punished side, but I think we still win the game. Okay, so they're going to take 9 here. I think we're just going to 2 for 1 ourselves to get rid of the Mossbeard. They go to 3. We have 2 creatures that are both lethal. They have 1 card. Good enough. Alright, well that was certainly an interesting game. Sometimes you have to realize when the card advantage is not worth it, and in that situation, it was well worth 2-for-1ing ourselves to make sure the Maul Spear didn't stay home. He had to go visit the graveyard to get a forever home. Alright, tough games so far. I think the biggest problem is that we don't have good 2s. I mean, our 2s are good, but we don't have enough of them. Alright, this is a fine hand. We're going to start it out with a Wooded Ridgeline, so we can play this turn too. I'd like to play a Keldon Strike Team, but we can also kick it. Yavimaya Steel Crusher's fine. We're just going to be doing some attacking here. And actually, I think we're just going to kill it. We'll play out the Radiant Grove. And I think we just Flowstone Infusion. Bink. What you got? Finale Sleeper kicked will in fact get rid of the Rodda's Firebrand, but that's okay. We have a Keldon Strike Team to keep pushing the aggression. I'm not too concerned about playing it out now because we can get it back later with the SERRA Paragon. Speaking of SERRA Paragon, let's just play out one of these tap lands. I think Sacred Peaks is the one we're supposed to play. Thanks. Feel free to kill it. They do. Kind of as expected. Not really I can do, nothing I can really do about that, so. Well, we're a little land flooded. This could quickly end up becoming our last, second loss. Another land, not really what I'm looking for, but we're running out of gas here. We don't have anything to do. We've drawn every single one of our tap lands as well. Another Sengir Connoisseur, huh? Okay, they do block. I'll play this out. Pass turn. Oh wow, that's pretty surprising. That Keldon guy kind of went coast to coast, didn't he? That was a very strange game of limited. I guess we both were kind of flooded out, weren't we? They had 8 lands, I had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 my own. I just didn't play all of mine out. Maybe they had 2 more in hand, or maybe they just had things they couldn't do anything with. Don't know, doesn't matter. We won, and we're moving to the next game. So one of the good things about aggro is that these videos are much shorter when I'm playing these decks. I have like, I think 2 videos on the channel of Domain, and those games are like so super slow. Always thinking about the ways to maximize value, get an extra 1 point of power or toughness here, get an extra tiny bit of card advantage or information there. And this one is just so much sweeter, easier. I don't think my opponent has enough 3s in their name. Well, Plains is not really what I'm looking for, but we will play it out. Radiant Grove a little bit late to the party, so I think we're just going to play out the Flowstone Kavu. Oh, is this a Essence Scatter? Impulse. That's much, much better for me than Essence Scatter. If they don't just immediately kill this Kavu, it's going to poke in for a healthy amount of damage. Well, a Battle Wing Mystic is not really the kind of card that I'm afraid of, especially since it does just get Flowstone Infusioned right out of the sky. We'll go ahead and pump. Then we'll Flowstone Infusion here and see what happens. Okay, it does work. So we have the green mana next turn. We also have a kicked Keldon Strike Team. If our opponent just plays some kind of dorky thing that can, you know, be killed by 1 toughness or 1 power creatures. Well, the Tribute to Urborg is not something I'm afraid of because we immediately have a great follow-up. Bink and bonk. Excuse me while I just put 5 haste into play. They're at 12. We still have another haste creature and a Coalition Warbrute in my hand. Sure. They don't even kick it. Although we did have a pretty obvious discard. Just play out this. I guess so. Yeah. Okay, sure. Take another 5, I guess. I don't think we're supposed to play out the lands. I think we're supposed to keep them in hand. But I'm going to play the Wooded Ridgeline anyway. This doesn't play around specifically the Mind Rot. But I think if they're casting the Mind Rot, we're winning the game. Vohar is fine. Battlewing Mystic is fine. So they can block a 1/1 profitably and trade for the Keldon Strike Team and take a damage in the exchange. We'll just play this out. Pass turn. So they do have to pay 2 and sacrifice the Vohar if their plan is to do something, and then they also have to cast the spell. So it would require basically their whole turn to kill the Coalition Warbrute, unless they have something in their hand. Because the spells in their graveyard are the tributes. Oh, a Necromass is pretty good. That definitely puts up some defenses for sure. We do have a Viashino Branch Rider, however, and that will enable us to get in. Okay, and we're just going to attack with the Coalition Warbrute and put this thing as its enlist. Enlist here. Attack for 6. My opponent has decided to block. A wise decision, if I do say so. We'll play out the land, but we're rapidly losing value on these lands. In fact, we don't have anything that's this expensive to cast. They pitch Arona. They might just be casting it this turn. Pitching 2 cards that don't do anything. Which I would approve of. Another removal spell. That's their 3rd one. Must be nice. And another 5/5. Well, this is going to be rough. But we have our own 5/5. Haha! Da 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 da. Play the land, nothing in hand. Just lay it all bare, see what my opponent has. They discard a basic land, not great for me. Another one. Yikes. Seems like we're looking at 3 spells under Rona. Nope, we're paying. Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, tribute, kill the Molten Monstrosity. Can they even attack me? They can. It's a bold strategy, my friend. Flowstone Infusion is not the kind of card that would get there, but a Keldon Strike Team would have killed them. We can still draw another Keldon Strike Team. We do have another one in the deck. We also have the SERRA Paragon. That'd be another creature that would be very nice here. Or we could just die to the 5/5. Pixie Illusionist, not kicked. I think we're supposed to blow this out of the sky if we can. Depends on what they do second main. Are they just going to pitch the last 2 cards for Rona? No, they're just going to cast another Rona. Well, I think we have to hold it. Alrighty. Maybe I wasn't supposed to let them have the Pixie Illusionist. This doesn't really change the clock, so I'm not worried about it. Come on, we need Keldon Strike Team or the flying guy. Flowstone Kavu does not really do it, that's just a jump blocker. They have removal spell, I'm just dead anyway, so whatever. Yep, fair enough, I suppose. Alright, well, we played to our outs and we did not draw them. We did get, however, a good number of lands. Okay, we're just going to keep it going. 4-2 so far, looking to get to the 5 wins. Alright, they are on the play, and we have a good 2 good 2s actually. Although this one's much worse on the draw and combat trick, so we'll keep 4th land. It is tapped, but that's okay, we can find a way to squeeze it in. Vivisector is okay, we're just going to play out the Rada's Firebrand, and a nice bite down to follow it up is nice, as long as I don't kill it this turn. Looks like it will die. So they're not blocking, maybe they're just figuring they need to attack. Nope, they're going to kill it, as expected. Yeah, we're just going to play out the Radiant Grove, and I think we're supposed to just pass turn. Now we'll play it, whatever. If they have another removal spell, I'm going to get got by it anyway. It smells like they have a timely interference. If they had just a Flowstone, they would have just used it right there. Okay, so they've let me untap, which activates my trap card, if you will. So now we have a lot of great things in store. We have the Colossal Growth as well as a Bite Down. We'll attack, see what happens. Okay. Sure. Okay, well that's definitely a card that I would like to buy down with. A little unfortunate how the mana's looking. We have 2 4s and 2 2s, and we can't cast more than one of these spells really. And I don't want to cast a Colossal Growth as well as that, so we'll just attack my opponent. Okay, so we do have a Colossal Growth as well as a Bite Down, so we're going to try and fire it off in a way that's advantageous. Try this. Flowstone Infusion is not going to work the way they want it to. Oh wow, it's that instead? That's not very good for me, is it? We'll just bite down this in response. Okay, well, that was not very good for me, but not really much I could have done about it. Oh, Liliana of the Veil.
This is my home, and I don't appreciate it. You won't be outsmarting me.
I think we're supposed to discard a Coalition Warbrood. That's really awful for me. Now we're just gonna haste this out. And they can discard our land if they want to. Looks like they just have a removal spell though. Yep. Yep. So we do have a Lightning Strike, but I think we're supposed to Lightning Strike the bird. Or the drake, rather. Now we get to kill the Liliana. Now we're at parity. They have the first draw step, and it is a great card. Fair enough, I guess. But we have a Keldon Strike team, so we're going to just play that out for the full cost. They will block. But that's good for me. If they want to spend 5 to do that this turn, that's okay. They would like to. Get a Vine Shaper Prodigy, I guess. Well, no, they can't even kick it, or play it, rather. So I guess they get back a Soaring Drake or a Phyrexian Vivisector? Okay, sure. We do have great draws from here. We just have to hit them. Wow, well that's not very good for me, is it? Flowstone Kavu's nice, though. Blight Pile of all cards. Battlefly Swarm, okay. That's just another flying creature for them to attack me with. Certainly not the best. Yeah, we'll go to 10, I guess. Not the best, not the best. We're going to attack with the Flowstone Kavu. See what my opponent wants to do. We will activate twice. They're still going to be winning the damage race here. Unfortunately. We go to 7, they go to 9, we go to 3. Well, no, we go to less than that, actually. Gross. We're going to 6 here. Then we're going to go to 2, assuming that their last card in hand is nothing. Yeah, they drew a pretty good amount of interaction. 1, 2, well, they discarded most of it. Yeah, go ahead. We could really use a removal spell or another Keldon Strike team or our Mythic. We could draw our Mythic. Our Mythic would be good. I wouldn't mind doing that. That'd be nice. Okay, well my opponent's thinking I'm gonna just pause it here because I value your time. They've decided the obvious attack is correct. That's a good one. Okay, well. We're just going to attack all. No reason to bury the lead here. Bring me down to 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. They need something else here. Another defender would do it. Nice. That also does it. Shiv and Devastator's a pretty good top deck, I guess. Damn, wish I could have drawn my Mythic instead of them drawing both of theirs. But, you know, that's just how limited goes sometimes. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video. I certainly did. If you enjoy content like this, please feel free to like, subscribe, and comment on the video. We're gonna open up these packs now. Cool. Anyway, you've been watching RobotRallis. Thank you for watching and have a good day.